On today's Wellness Wednesday, between the election, the ongoing pandemic, and now the holidays creeping up, you might be feeling a little stressed. So how can you manage it all? Joining me with some tips is Regents Behavioral Health Medical Director, Dr. Hossam Mahmood. Thank you so much for being here today, Doctor.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Okay, well, thank you. First question for you, even without the factors that I had already mentioned, why are these next couple of months usually a little more stressful when they're supposed to be, of course, incredibly joyful?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. So I think it's a very opportune time to talk about this, especially that today is Stress Awareness Day. I think the holidays are a wonderful, great time to be with loved ones and families, but oftentimes they end up being stressful for many people. And I think it has to do with the fact that we place so much pressure on ourselves to have a perfect time. And the reality is that we almost never have a perfect time because there's no such thing as a perfect time. I think we place a lot of pressure on ourselves, on our loved ones. And I think it's really important to, one, recognize that, accept that things are not usually perfect, and work on resilience for ourselves and our family and loved ones. I think this year is going to be more stressful than usual for so many factors. It's 2020 has been challenging because of COVID, because of the economic downturn, lockdown, ongoing fear of getting together with people and physical distancing. As well as the stress of the election, of course, which is likely to go on for quite some time. Usually the way I like to approach stressful situations is really to focus on what I call the 3 R's. First is recognition, second is radical acceptance, and the third is building resilience. With recognition, it's really the acknowledgement that it is going to be stressful, that things are stressful. And once we acknowledge that, I think the next step is this acceptance, or radical acceptance, that while things are stressful, there are certain things that we cannot change, but then there are things that we can change. And this is where we start working on building resilience. And resilience is really having enough strength in order to cope with stress and then to bounce back. And there are so many different things that we can do ahead of time in order to build resilience for us and for our families and loved ones. I would really start with self-care, working on either mindfulness techniques, breathing techniques to cope with stress, proper nutrition, exercise, sleeping better, remaining hydrated, especially in winter. And then the next would be working on social connectedness, because physical distancing should not be synonymous with social isolation. And so it's important to build on our current networks, reach out to the people whom we love, and have conversations ahead of time as to what this holiday season is going to look like for our loved ones, and have serious conversations about whether we should be getting together, how many people should be getting together, what kind of circumstances would work, and different families are different. And so it's a conversation that have to be had with your loved ones in order to ensure a somewhat less stressful holiday season.
Perfect. Okay, those were all incredibly great tips. I want to thank you, Dr. Hossam Mahmood, for being here today and giving us these great tips at a time we can really use it.
Thank you so much.